Hey guys, welcome back to this clown's garage. In this video I'll discuss a Lincoln Town Car issue. This also pertains to Ford Crown Vics and Grand Marquis, which are similar to this type of car. Now this is a 2000 Lincoln Town Car. Now what happens here is whenever it rains, like right now it's raining, when you go on the passenger side over here and you lift up the carpet, it's a little wet over here. Now, this usually happens because the cowl vent area, there's a little seal that they put there, and it leaks through it. I'll show you in a second. But you could also have the same issue back here if you pull up the carpet, and it feels damp over here too. And if you have a lot of water in here, there's drain plugs in here. You have to lift the carpet and screw them out, and the water will drain. Now be very careful because this could also be a heater core issue over here in the front. Make sure it's not antifreeze, and if you don't know what antifreeze feels like or smells like, you can always open up your radiator cap when it's cold and look inside and feel it. See if it's the same texture. Now this is the area I'm talking about over here where the cowl is. Now the hood seals over here, and all the water comes in through here, and under here there's a seal or a gasket from the factory, and it tends to leak through there and it goes inside the car. So let me go ahead here and take this apart for you guys. Now the first thing to note here is that there's two screws. One is right here and the other one should be right there, but this one's missing, which tends me to believe somebody else was in here before. Now all you have to do here is just go in there and unscrew this, and this is even cockeyed, so this wasn't even put on right. I believe this is a long screw, so that feels like it's off. And all you gotta do here is just pull it up. There's clips over here, so you just pull this up like that, and that comes off. And you'll see the screws I'm talking about in a second. That's this one right there, and that one's bent. Looks like it's a plastic screw. So the plastic screw goes right there. Let's put that off to the side. And that's where the screws go in there. Now, next thing here is, let me show you what you need to do this job, by the way. You'll need a screwdriver. You'll need a 5/16 small socket, or 3/8 doesn't matter, with extension. This for the clips, if the clips aren't easy to take off. A flashlight, of course. I use Ultra Black, our TV sealer, and there's more bolts on the other side which are 7/16. So, I believe somebody else was in here before me. As you can see how the water seeps in there, it also goes into the side over here. So if there's not a good seal in there, it'll leak right in there. So now let me go ahead and take these bolts off. So these here, like I said, are 5/16 right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take these off. There's a screw in there, so don't worry if you drop them. Now these last two are 7/16. And these are just, you can see that, nuts with washers on them. Now take this rubber off with the stripping, put it to the side. Now over here, you can just pry this up and it should come right out like that. And just move the side over here, just so I can get that. Just move that up and pull that out. And be careful, there's a line in the way, rubber line. You just pull that right off. Like that. What you gotta do is you just gotta scrape all this old material off and just put a whole bead of silicone all around it, all around the edges over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and scrape that off now. Here's a little gasket scraper to assist this clown. And as you can see, this is probably where my leak was, because it's all wet in there over here, and it was leaking inside there. And there goes my gasket scraper on the floor. Alright, so I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm just going to put silicone all around here, and I'm also going to clean up the old cap that I took off. And this is what the old cap looks like. Now this is how it's sat in there, and I'm gonna get rid of all of this right now, all of this stuff here. That's the old gasket, and this is where this sat. So time to clean this bad boy here now, and you want to take this whole gasket right off. There you go. And it would help if you didn't have plastic gloves on. So you see how that comes right off? Just gotta rub this bad bitch down, and she'll love you for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Hey guys, one more thing I want to mention here is this little tube in here. As you can see, there's a little flap. Make sure you open that flap and it's clear in there, because if that gets clogged up, a lot of water and stuff could fill up over here and it'll pool. So that's a good thing to check. Also, blow out this little vent area in here, because you don't want, sometimes there's leaves and stuff in here that accumulate. And now this is what it looks like clean. I cleaned all the way around here. One more thing to note is there's also a screw that goes over here, which I didn't mention in the beginning. And what seemed to happen here was it was leaking before, and the guy redid it, the previous owner. And what happened was he forgot to put a screw here. So that's why he put the foam piece over here and more silicone all the way around here, because he didn't put that last bolt. Make sure you put all the bolts in here so it squeezes everything evenly down when you put the silicone. That's very important. So I'm going to go ahead now and install this and put a bead of silicone on there first. Alright, now I'm going to put a nice thick bead of black RTV, ultra black, all the way around where it meets the surface, where the old gasket was, where it meets the surface over there on the cowl. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And be very generous with this stuff. Alright, so this is done. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some black RTV inside the car. Alright, now I'm going to put some over here. Now the purpose I'm putting also over here, I'm putting some of this stuff, is because I want to make sure when I put it on, nothing moves around and I don't get certain spots. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a nice thick bead on this mating surface too. Alright, now I'm going to put it on. I can't stress enough, put a lot of silicone on RTV on it, because if you don't, it's not going to seal. So gob it on there. Don't be afraid to gob it on there. I would probably put I would buy two RTV silicones from any AutoZone or Pep Boys. I used Ultra Black. I also used a little bit of Ultra Gray because I ran out of the Ultra Black. But it's you need about 2 tubes, and it's under probably $10 or $15 for both, as opposed to paying $100 or so at the dealership or wherever else you might bring your car. So now, one important thing when you're putting it back in is make sure that tab goes underneath. So now go ahead and line everything up. I want to also align those studs over there to go through those 2 holes. I'm a stud also, and I like going into holes, so I have a lot of experience with that. Yes, ladies, that's right. Let's see, it's right over there. It's a matter of aligning everything up and align everything over here. And what you want to see is the RTV squeeze out from underneath. That means you did a good job. So you just go around, look at it, and make sure everything sealed. I'm going to go ahead and put the bolts back, the screws back in. You don't have to go gorilla strength on these. Just tighten them down nice and snug. So the first bolt I was missing last time, I'm going to put is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Now put the one on top. And as you tighten those down, you're going to see all around it gets squeezed down. Putting a new bolt over here because that one was missing, and a washer. That's good. And I put the last one here. Okay, now this last one here, sometimes you can't find it. Just put a pick or something and try to grab it and move it in the middle. So now go ahead and install that. Now it's time to put the cowl back on. So there's 2 bolts, 2 screws actually, 2 plastic screws, one there and one there. And so I put that one there, and I found another one I'm going to put right here. Also, one quick last thing, this foam just slips right back on, and that's it. And that concludes the fix of the leak issue that goes into the car on the passenger side of these Lincoln Ford Mercury cars. Also, last thing to do is make sure it cures, give it a day to cure, make sure no water goes on it, and once it cures, the next day get a garden hose and spray all the way around it. Make sure there's nothing that goes inside the car over here. So that concludes my video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel. You know you want to. Also like my videos and click any box underneath that you wish. And while you're down there, you can do whatever you want to me down there. Thanks for watching and toodles!